Shalom, Israel. This is heaven. And let's see, we had our two eclipses, the solar eclipse and the lunar eclipse, not that far apart from each other, just in March and April this year. And now we have a meteor shower coming in theaters near you. I look out for the meteor showers because it can be a true meteor shower. And it scares me when they say a blazing meteor shower. And then when they say this meteor shower happened due to our Earth traveling through a comet's debris trail. And you know what comes to mind, of course. It's planet Hell, or Nibiru, as we also call it, or the Gentile Destroyer. Until I know exactly what it is, I call them it all. What I believe it is here for and all is to destroy, though. So whoever can see it, I say be on the lookout, because we close to that unpleasant time. You know, the end times. We in the end times. So let's dive into our topic today, Israel. DeAndre wrote in his last video I watched, I don't know if he made another one. He wrote, change the world with the gifts God gave you. And it reminded me of what I believe God has been telling my family for a while now. And what we sometimes ignore. Me being one of them. Speaking on myself, I have an issue about that sometimes, or a lot. And my mama knows. I always wish that I had better gifts. And to me, at a point in my life, I felt like my gifts were not good enough. You know, I see my mother, I see my father, and to me, God has bestowed many blessings and gifts on them to being able to provide and help people by the will of God, being able to take care of business, being knowledgeable and wise, being able to forgive and give people a chance where at the time I would have turned my back on some people. To my father leaving this earth with a brilliant legacy, and my God, did he have so many blessed gifts to talking, to doing different things. I don't want to put all his information out there, but I would just say he was very skilled in a lot of areas. And sometimes I look at my mother and my father and I ask myself, how did I miss this gene? Like, I see they start something and they work hard and finish it, and I see myself and I quickly lose hope and faith in whatever I start and I just quit it. No lie, I have too many unfinished projects because I had no beliefs I could prosper at anything I do because I believed that I wasn't talented in nothing, really. And I remember I asked my father when I was approximately around maybe 15 or younger. I remember everyone was asking him questions like what he thought they were talented in and what were their gifts, their good qualities, and he would tell them what he believed they were. And of course, they were my siblings. And then I asked him, I think I was the last person to ask, and he said, I don't know, but I see that you're good at admonishing and reading the scriptures. And ignorantly at the time, it was highly disappointing to me. As a dumb youngster, I was looking for a gift in other things like art or music or poetry, things like that. And what I thought to myself is, well, anybody could be gifted at that. I mean, how is that a special gift? And ungrateful as it was, I cried over it at that time. But then God taught me a lesson. And I learned that this doesn't come to everybody like it came to me and my family. God didn't have to choose to guide me. And at any time, if you are ungrateful for anything, even water, God can come and take that away. And trust me, our water got turned off one time and we suffered like crap. And then even with hot water, we didn't have any hot water. And even that in itself was a pain, especially when the weather is already cold. I was worried about my mother getting sick. And I believe she did get sick at the time. I think we all got sick. You learn to appreciate everything. And when you forget, you need to remind yourself to thank God for it all, even for the things that hasn't been taken away from you as of yet, because it could still. We don't show enough appreciation for even our breathing and a lot of things God does for us. And we need to thank God more often. Every day, every time you use anything and is able to even move your pinky finger, thank God, because tomorrow it could be cut off, you know? And we need to learn that lesson with our gifts God has bestowed on us. Us as black people are the so-called blacks amongst us, which is just black Gentiles. They think that the highest we go is being gangsters, going on drugs, the shapes of our bodies. All we good is for the low down and dirty and corruption. Nah, That's the picture painted for us during slavery. That is what your slave masters used you for, as circus animals on auction for one to place their bids on. And that mentality has not left your mind. You still think you're all about your body, your hair and your nails, your crusty the clown makeup, your car, whether you from the Bloods or the Crips. If you the richest nigga, you made it out the hood. That's not what you stand for, black people. You got way more gifts than that, and the entire world knows it. But you got gifts that the Lord personally bestowed on each of y'all. God gave everyone their special gift, and what I believe is what Rap used to always tell the family. You can either use your gifts to lead people astray or lead people to the righteous path of God. But everyone has a choice in how they are going to use this gift. And let's read some verses to back these words. James 1 verse 17 through 18. Every good gift and every perfect gift is from above, and cometh down from the Father of lights, with whom is no variableness, neither shadow of turning. Of his own will beget he us with the word of truth, that we should be a kind of first fruits of his creatures. So, every good gift is from God, and what I gather from this verse is saying that gifts you have is good and perfect because it's from him, the God that never changes in his word, and never the God of darkness. He guides us with the truth, and he chose us to be the ones to spread the message to the world. And we can use our gifts to do the work of God. So let's read further. We have different gifts, meaning God is not going to bestow the same gift to us all. We all are going to have our own special gifts. According to the grace given to each of us, if your gift is prophesying, then prophesy in accordance with your faith. So if your gift is to deliver this message, if your gift is God gives you his inspiration to do or say something, you need to use that gift, and it's, believe it or not, a gift that comes with high difficulty and struggles. But I believe one of the very blessed gifts, because think about it, each or almost each prophet was given this gift, and even more from God's grace. It's got to be a high reward in saving people from hell and leading them to this truth with God's will. And for the people who think they prophets and prophetesses out there, you cannot be a prophet, but you can if God wills deliver the message, which makes you a message deliverer, a messenger, and that's it. Rap the News was no prophet. I am not a prophetess, which no female can be a prophet. All prophets that were sent were but men, and nobody is a prophet here besides the ones mentioned that passed on already. If it is serving, then serve. And people think this is a lowly downgrading position. If it is serving, then serve. When you are serving God, how do you do it? You serve God by serving people, not worshiping people, but serving as in helping the believers, whether that is blessing Israel, Gentiles, so God can bless you, whether that is making breakfast and dinner for your family, for your parents. It may seem small and dumb, but it is not. That is very big and rewarding. You just don't understand God. That where us as humans might see it as a piece of crap to step on and walk over, God don't. And people neglect God, but he is the one that sees you and pays attention to every detail that you do. Even when it comes to drawing a picture, I heard people say to people, you didn't even catch the fine details and hard work I did. I colored the butterflies patterns and I made the glow around the sun. Did you see this little tiny person in the background? People don't pay attention but to what's right in front of their eyes usually. Something that you didn't even take your time on. But God sees further than us. He sees the fine details, and he sees what's inside of a person's heart. If it is teaching, then teach. So, Deshaun Whitehead, who is now lagging, which he should not be. Teach, teacher. You are doing a great job. You lose the blessings in your gifts, people, when you let petty bullcrap get you down and quit. Stop being quitters, please. And I have to tell myself that. Keep going and stop worrying so much about what people think about you. If you blink wrong, if your lips was dry, if you coughed in your video, you farted wrong, you messed up your whole reputation. What rep? We just human. We gonna have imperfections. And just like everyone gets funky and need a bath, well, we all fall. And what do? We keep getting back up again, and we perfect ourselves as we go to not keep falling down the best we can. We strengthen each other. Guess what? You never gonna be perfect. You always gonna have a fault, and guess what? You got admonishers, messengers to be that resistance you need to build yourself up stronger and get back up on your feet. And for those who just want an outlet to sin, that ain't saying just cause a human ain't perfect, go do something shady. Stop finding ways and mazes to do your criminal act, or else you gonna get stuck in walls of hell and never find an escape door in a maze. If it is to encourage, then give encouragement. Encouragement definition: the act of giving someone support, confidence, or hope. So just encouragement alone is a gift. Support in good causes, then, whether that is agreeing with the truth and following in a righteous path. Following in this path. Encouraging our people, our priests, to keep going and giving the message and putting out the word. Supporting the homeless, the orphans, those in need. Giving them charity, which is a heinous sin to some of you out there, or majority of you. You think giving is low down, but you think selfishness and greed and pride is coming up. The very thing God gonna burn you to a crisp for. Giving the people hope. Hope that we can come together and live together on the land. Give the people hope by giving them this truth and keep reaching your hand out that they may take the truth of there is only one God and have hopes of the mercy of God and his salvation. Hopes that we can keep holding on and make it to Israel and then maybe even make it to paradise. The hope on that day that maybe we could be saved from hell and rejoice in the Lord's promise and greatness. And see our passed on loved ones again if they up there. Talking to people, lifting people's spirits up. If it is giving, then give generously. And there are many verses on giving. Even giving people your gift is given. And how do you do that? Use the dang gift God gave to you to be a benefit and help to others. People in this world are lacking in certain areas that for you or for me, it came like being able to breathe. Some people don't know how to have natural feelings and to feel. And if they see you interacting with others, giving your family, your mother, your father, your little sister or brother a hug and a goodbye and I love you. Some people don't know or can't fathom affection and love. If you show them, then by your example, it may lead their hearts to be more loving and to care. And if you give the homeless blankets, they may give the homeless blankets. People are watching you even when you don't know they are. Even the little babies, as they grow, they will repeat and mimic what they've seen and watched. That's why you gotta always, in every situation you encounter, set a good example. For some people, it's hard to forgive and let go of things. You gotta teach them how through your actions or your words. If you can forgive and overlook and it comes easy to you. For me, it did not come easy. I had to learn. I was one of those people who had to learn through watching others learn how to let go and forgive. If it is to lead, do it diligently. A diligent person is the one who puts in a great deal of effort and care into their work, often paying close attention to detail and striving for excellence. So when you lead, God is saying to freaking care. Give 100%, don't slack. And an online example is a diligent employee might take great care to complete their work on time and to a high standard, ensuring that their work meets the expectations of their employer. And in this case, your employer is the most high and he expects grade A+++ out of you. So in order to be a leader and lead the flock, you got to be on time. You got to do your research. You got to observe and look out for your sheep and getting ready to fight the wolves coming to devour them. You got to get your sheep in line, but first employee got to get themselves in line and practice excellence. You got your example. Rap the News was a good example. And first and foremost, our prophets. Read the books. And if it is to show mercy, do it cheerfully. Cheerfully, meaning not bitter and angry, not I'll be merciful, nigga, but no, I have it in my power to smite you. So in good spirits and readily, willingly show mercy, like you want your Lord to do it unto you, O sinner. And as we are reading, the things most people take for granted are the very gifts God mentioned. It did not say your money. It did not say your body. You forget that God don't look at the outer. And if you stuck on giving the outer, God don't see you. Now, if you have money, then you can use it to help those in need. But if you don't have money, don't say, I don't have anything to give. Yes, you most certainly do. If you are learning from these words and scriptures, even this topic today, well, there's some more people online and on your block that need to hear this. Go give them this truth. If you know somebody down and on the verge of committing suicide, go give them some encouragement. And sometimes, or all the time, their encouragement is telling them the truth. If you kill yourself, you don't want to do that because you're going to wake up in hell. But be encouraging in a good way. You run into people online saying, I'm going to kill myself. And then people will encourage them, telling them to go ahead. One less miserable face. That's just not right. And then you just help send that person to hell, and you accountable for that. Even if they determine on doing it anyways, you got to do your part and try to save them, or else their blood is on your hands, meaning you sharing in that punishment of hell. More than likely, are you taking on some of their plate of evil? Are you going to get severely punished on this earth? Somehow you going to share in that. Maybe even get hemmed in to commit suicide your own self. So like Rap used to say to us, because he sat down and taught us every day, thank God. He said, I don't need your money. Just give a dang smile, and that's a blessing. For every smile, for every positive word, even if you do something silly to make your family laugh and lighten up the mood a bit, as long as it ain't corrupt or against the Most High, you will find that there is a reward in this. And then some things with myself. I know I'm shabby at it, or at least to me. I got health issues, imperfection, and these things about myself I feel like people can easily judge and look down upon me. Maybe. But it was something my sister had wrote, and it stuck with me, which was, you gotta first love yourself. The reason why you insecure about things concerning yourself and you worried about people not liking you because you don't like you. Once you love the beauty and artwork God did in you, then you will be free from the worries of whatever people think, and who cares what they think as long as God loves you, first and foremost. And then you gotta love yourself. And that actually changed my perspective and thought on things. Like, it was very, very profound to me. And I'm not saying with this, be arrogant and have high self-esteem. I say don't have high or low self-esteem. Rather, invest in the Most High. And as far as you go with yourself, you should just be grateful how God made you. Don't be arrogant and don't fall into hating yourself. Just be grateful. And use the gifts you have the best you can use them, and that's all you can do. Use them for the good of mankind. 1 Peter 4, verse 10. Each of you should use whatever gift you have received to serve others, as faithful stewards of God's grace in its various forms. God's gifts all come in various ways, and it's not going to be the same for all of us. Some may seem small, some may seem big, but once you use them for God's cause, is when it's all something major. This is heaven.